Hey, what's up, guys? This is your boy Travis back again here at Big Boy Toy Reviews, and today we are looking at a figure from JOYTOY. When I got this figure, I did not know how small she was going to be, but that's probably because I never read the descriptions when I'm buying them. Well, I hardly ever read them. I'm not even going to pretend to know how to pronounce this name or what else is going on here. I know it says Dark Source something. If you know what if you know how to read this, then go for it. But the box is really small, as you can see, is 1/18 scale. So yeah, I didn't realize that it was going to be this small, but surprisingly, for a figure that is so small, it has a ton of details. So let's talk about it. All right, so taking a look at the figure, for a figure that is so small, it has a ton of detail. They have like a highlight. They have, I don't know, shading in the hair. The ponytail is a nice soft plastic, so it'll get out the way really easily. Oops. Even her little collar thing right here, I think it's supposed to be fur or something. I keep dropping it because it's so small. It has like a wash on it that looks really good. I mean, this thing just has paint everywhere, and where there is paint, it is done really good. I forget how much this figure costs. Obviously, I'll put it somewhere in the video, but really tiny, nice soft goods. I mean, I wouldn't say, well, it's soft goods, not cloth goods, but everything is really soft and it doesn't hinder articulation at all. We'll get to that a little bit later. But I mean, everything is painted so nicely. Her boots are painted really well. There's how they're simulating how she has them pulled down here and pulled up here. That looks good. That's painted really nicely. Again, this is all soft plastic, so it'll move out the way. Her little I don't know what you want to call this, little, I don't know, belt slash skirt piece or whatever, but everything is painted really nicely. For a head that's so small, it's painted really well. I think there's a couple of nicks on her lips, and I think I did that because one of her accessories is a hat, and has this little thing that's supposed to go around her neck, but it's damn near impossible to get it around her head, that the way that they have it, how they have it made. So I think it kind of nicked her chin and nicked her lip, unfortunately. But yeah, she is just painted. There's just paint everywhere, and it's all done really nicely. Hasbro, as a gigantic company, can barely get paint on 10%, 5% of their figures. Like as in one figure, maybe 5% of that figure has paint on it. This has paint everywhere. The face is painted, the hair is painted, the body is painted everywhere. Even this little pouch is done really nicely and painted really nicely. I mean, the amount of detail that they go into on this tiny figure, again, 1/8 scale, is just incredible. The amount of paint that they have in her. So yeah, as far as detail, this figure is done really, really, really surprisingly nicely. I mean, it just blows my mind what some companies can do. Some small little tiny companies can do, like JOYTOY, and the amount of paint that they can put in their figures And huge companies like Hasbro can't even do 0.1% of what they're doing as far as paint. So anyway, let's get on to the accessories because she doesn't have a whole lot. All right, so first let's get into the hands. So the hands are tiny, but again, painted really nicely. So here we got like a karate chop hand. Then we have a fist hand. And now she only has one of each of these. The hands that she has on her, and I'll just show that really quick, are the weapon holding hands. So both of those are weapon holding hands. Then she has like a karate pose type hand, like she's doing the claw pose or something, also painted nicely. All the skin is painted. And then she has like another karate pose hand. Nice shading. So those hands are done nicely. Then she has her little cape, which is, it's got a it's like a soft plastic, and it's got like a dark wash on it. It is what it is. It's not my favorite accessory. It does plug in pretty nicely. I don't think that I would ever use this, but she does come with that. Then she comes with her hat, and this is what I was talking about. The detail on it is really good. This is also very soft plastic. The nice painting on the top of the hat. It actually looks like it's made out of tweed or whatever they used to make the hats out of way back in ancient China or ancient Japan. So that looks really good, but the issue is getting over her head is almost impossible. So her ponytail sticks up through here, and you're supposed to be able to get this little piece around her chin. Well, it's almost impossible because her face barely fits through there. So you almost have to force it over her chin, and it almost feels like you're going to rip this off at some point. So it's not the greatest design in the world. I wish they could have found another way to do this, but it is possible, but I don't know if I would ever have her pose with it. So that's her hat. Then she has a couple of weapons. Actually has a few weapons. One of the weapons is her whip, but this is just the whip that would as if she had it tied around her belt or whatever. So that's painted really nicely. Then she has the extended whip, which does not have bendy wire in it, but it is a really soft plastic, so you could probably pull off whatever poses that you like. The handle is painted really nicely, and it's like it looks like a cloth rope, but it's not. It's not made out of cloth. It's definitely plastic. And then I guess this would technically be an accessory too. So we have her scabbard. This did come on her in the package, so it's hard for me to call it a accessory, but I suppose it should be. That is her scabbard, and then she does have her little knife in here, and that is painted really nicely. It is very soft, so you don't have to worry about breaking it when you're pulling it off, but it does have like a nice design here that's painted really nicely. The handle's painted really nicely. And the scabbard is done really nicely. That looks like leather. Looks like leather, but it's plastic. And it does slide in and out really, really nicely. So you shouldn't be scratching any paint. And it plugs into the back of the figure. But that's it for accessories. So on to the articulation. Her head is on a double ball peg, so she can look up really nicely. She can look down really nicely. She does get plenty of side to side. Right? See that, Hasbro? This is how you make a double ball peg. This is how you make it. This is how heads should move. Anyway, this little piece can come off. It is loose. It does not hinder her articulation at all. Her arms do come up past parallel, so she can do the T pose. She has a swivel in the shoulder that's really tight, but she also has a swivel in the elbow here. No bicep swivel. Unfortunately, she only gets about 90 degrees on her elbow bend, and she does have hinged wrist pegs. Her torso feels like it's on a ball joint, probably a double ball peg. It goes forward, not that much. Backwards, it goes backwards good enough. She does go side to side. So the torso joint is pretty decent. It's not terrible. She doesn't have a waist joint. As far as her legs, she can get the splits pretty good. Oh, my dog's scratching on his bed. Okay, she can do the splits pretty good. I would have liked to get a little more out of that, considering she's supposed to be like a ninja or something, or a samurai or something. I would like her to get a little more splits, but that should be enough for what you want to pose her, or how you want to pose her. She does have a thigh cut right there, so that's good. She can kick up that much. That's pretty good. And she does have a pretty good bend in the knee. The knee isn't great, doesn't look that great, unfortunately. And she can get her feet back that much. I wanted to see if there was swivel in there. Oh, her feet can't go forward that much, and she does get an ankle rocker, but it's a bit on the steep side. So you have to work with that. But for the most part, she has pretty good articulation. So I think this is a pretty solid release from JOYTOY. So yeah, that's it for articulation. So I won't be doing any comparisons in this particular video. I don't have anything that's even close to in scale with this figure, so it just doesn't make any sense to do any comparisons. So in conclusion, like I said, I think it's a solid release from JOYTOY. I know this is part of some kind of line. This is the one and only figure that I have of her, or that I have from that line. Whether or not I'll collect them, continue to collect them, really depends on the price point. I do think it's a good figure. So if you're into this kind of thing, if you're into 1/18th scale figures, I think this could be a good start if you're trying to get into them. But other than that, comment, like, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.